All right, let's get real, friend. If you watched the Chiefs last season, especially the Super Bowl, you know exactly where things started to fall apart. The offensive line. For all the magic Patrick Mahomes can pull out of his hat, even he can't make plays flat on his back. And that's the core of the issue heading into the 2025 NFL Draft. The Chiefs are entering this draft with a clear mission: protect number 15 at all costs. That's not just some talking point, it's a must. The defensive side of the ball has had its ups and downs, sure, but if we're being honest, it's the offensive line that turned into a real liability when it mattered most. Mahomes was pressured way too often, and when that happens, even the best quarterback in the league can't carry the team alone. Now here's the thing. There's been a lot of mock drafts floating around, and you've probably seen the same names popping up on defense, especially cornerbacks. And yeah, those picks make sense on paper. But are they the smartest move for the Chiefs right now? That's debatable. Let me throw this to you directly. Do you really think another corner is going to keep Mahomes upright next season? Drop your answer in the comments and vote in our poll right now. Should the Chiefs go offense or defense in the first round? We'll be reading and responding to the top takes in the next video. Look, Mahomes has already made the impossible look routine. He's brought this team 2 rings and counting, but that can't continue if he's constantly under fire. We've seen what happens when he gets even a little bit of time in the pocket. The guy becomes unstoppable. So yeah, while fans and analysts are hyping up DB prospects, it's time to shift the conversation. This year, it's about building the wall in front of the franchise. And the sooner the Chiefs act, the better shot they have at making another deep playoff run. Now let's shift gears, because while the offense has its priorities, we also need to talk about a major change on the defensive side of the ball that could affect the entire team dynamic. So here's the next big shakeup we need to talk about. Justin Reid is gone. And yeah, that stings. Reid wasn't just another body in the secondary. He was a leader, a tone setter, and someone who brought a level of consistency and toughness that helped anchor the back end of this defense. Losing him isn't just about replacing a safety. It's about filling a gap in leadership and experience that's hard to find in any draft class. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, if Reid's gone, shouldn't that push the Chiefs to go defense in the first round? It's a fair question. But let's take a step back. Because even with Reid out, the Chiefs still have something most teams wish they did: Steve Spagnuolo. This guy has been working miracles with less for years. Spags knows how to mold young defensive players into contributors fast. We've seen him rotate in fresh faces and still field a top-tier defense. His system works, especially when he's got time to coach guys up. Think about it. How many no-name defenders has he turned into playmakers in the past 2 seasons alone? The man has a blueprint, and while Reid's departure is a hit, it's not a reason to panic. The truth is, the Chiefs have enough depth and coaching talent on defense to stay competitive without needing to burn a first-round pick on a safety or a cornerback. It might not look perfect on paper, but that's where scheme and leadership come into play. Now let me throw it to you again. Who do you think should step up and fill Reid's role this season? Drop your pick in the comments, or better yet, vote in our poll. Who will be the breakout star in the Chiefs' secondary in 2025? All right, we've talked defense. But next up, it's time to put Andy Reid under the spotlight. Because no matter how brilliant he is, there are limits to how much creativity can cover up for holes in the offensive line. Let's get into that. You and I both know this. Andy Reid is a mastermind. The guy can take a bucket of puzzle pieces and somehow make a masterpiece out of it. But even the best chefs need the right ingredients, and for the Chiefs, that ingredient is a strong offensive line. Now, over the years, we've seen Reid scheme his way around O-line problems. Quick throws, play-action rollouts, screens to the running backs, he's done it all. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon, and now Isaiah Pacheco have all been used as extra blockers or safety or valves in the passing game. And yeah, it works to a point. But let's be honest here. How many times last season did we watch Mahomes snapping the ball and immediately running for his life? That's not sustainable. You can only outsmart pass rushers for so long. At some point, you need guys up front who can win one-on-one matchups, stand their ground, and give your quarterback time to breathe. Just go back and watch the Super Bowl. For all the adjustments Reid made, there were still moments where the pressure got to Mahomes. And when it did, the offense sputtered. That's not on Patrick. That's on the protection breaking down before the play even had a chance. This isn't just about fixing a hole. It's about extending Mahomes' prime. It's about letting this offense hit the level we know it can reach when everything's clicking. We're talking dynasty-building moves here, so let's open this up. What do you think? Has Andy Reid done enough to mask the O-line issues, or is it time for, the front office to finally give him the tools he needs? Drop your take in the comments and vote in today's community poll. Is scheme enough, or do we need star linemen? And speaking of star linemen, there's one name that keeps coming up in mock drafts, a guy with the tools, the upside, and the toughness to change the game for Kansas City. You probably already know who I'm talking about. Let's meet the man being called the perfect fit for the Chiefs' future, Josh Simmons. All right, let's talk about the name that's making waves in every serious Chiefs mock draft, Josh Simmons. Now, if you haven't been following his journey closely, here's what you need to know. Before he went down with an injury in Week 7, Simmons was balling. Some scouts were already calling him the best offensive lineman in this class. That's not hype. That's real respect based on tape, traits, and projection. We're talking about a left tackle with NFL-ready measurables. He's long, athletic, and smooth in pass protection. He moves like a tight end in space, but anchors like a veteran when the bull rush comes. That kind of mix? Rare. Very rare. Here's how James Foster from the 33rd team described him. Kansas City takes left tackle Josh Simmons, who was playing like the best offensive lineman in this class before he tore his patellar tendon in Week 7. He has prototypical measurables and athletic traits for an NFL tackle. He's a smooth mover with the range to mirror pass rushers on an island, and his anchor significantly improved from last season. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, the injury is a concern, but the Chiefs have the luxury of patience. They don't need Simmons to be perfect in Week 1. What they need is a long-term solution to protect Mahomes' blind side for the next 5 to 10 years. And Simmons has that ceiling. Compare him to other names like Derek Harmon, who might be more polished right now but doesn't offer the same upside. Harmon is solid, but Simmons, he has the potential to be elite. And you know what makes him even more appealing? He's already been linked to Kansas City in multiple mocks. That kind of consistency across analysts isn't a coincidence. There's a reason his name keeps coming up when people talk about the perfect match between team need and player potential. Let's throw it to you. Would you take the risk on Simmons, or would you play it safer with someone like Harmon? Let us know in the comments and vote in the poll. Which offensive lineman is the better fit, Simmons or Harmon? Because if Brett Veach pulls the trigger on Josh Simmons, it could be a franchise-shifting moment. And in this next chapter, we're going to talk about exactly why that is, and how it could shape the future of Mahomes and the entire Chiefs offense. Let's zoom out for a second. Drafting Josh Simmons isn't just about plugging a hole on the depth chart. It's about making a statement, one that says, we're building around Mahomes for the long haul. Think about what this move represents. With Simmons protecting the edge, Mahomes could finally have the kind of blindside security every elite quarterback needs. No more scrambling 2 seconds after the snap. No more designing entire game plans just to get the ball out before the pocket collapses. With Simmons in place, the Chiefs can open up the entire playbook again, deep shots, play action, and everything in between. And it's not just about the X's and O's, it's about building continuity. You bring in a guy like Simmons, and you've potentially got a cornerstone on the offensive line for the next decade. That's the kind of move that creates sustained success, not just for this season, but for the next era of Chiefs football. Let's say this clearly. You don't win Super Bowls by chasing patches. You win by investing in your core. Mahomes is that core, and giving him top-tier protection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Now, imagine a Chiefs offense where Mahomes isn't under constant pressure. Imagine the numbers he could put up with, time to go through his reads, hit the deep ball, and let plays fully develop. If you're a defensive coordinator, that's a nightmare. If you're a Chiefs fan, that's the dream. So let's hear from you. Do you believe Josh Simmons is the missing piece to solidify this offense for years to come? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell us who you want the Chiefs to draft this year. We'll feature your best takes in our next episode. And if you haven't already, vote in today's final poll. Is investing in the O-line the key to a third Super Bowl with Mahomes? One thing's clear, the dynasty isn't over. But to keep it alive, the Chiefs have to keep their king protected. And Josh Simmons? He just might be the knight this offense needs.